Bienvenidos a Les Chisme con Chantal. Ay, Dios mío. La comida es mi vida. Yo soy dominicana. Diablo, cuánta mierda yo hablo.
Bienvenidos to another episode of Les Chisme con Chanti, your host from Let's Try This to Les Chisme, bringing you a different content, long format, learning those stories about people making an impact in Central Florida. Today, I have two special guests that, oh my God, when you see them, you're going to be like, how do they end up together? I'm still questioning myself that, but I'm going to let them tell that story. So say hello to Ugichoni and Shabari. He's going to kill me. Well, Scott and Shabari.
Hi, Shabari. Yes. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful.
I appreciate you meeting me here. I'm excited to see how a math data-driven Indian woman ended up, with Mr. Winter Park from, Orlando, Winter Park area. Like, how did that happen? Tell them about your great product. I mean, I could sell it any day because they're making treats that are amazing. And if you didn't know, they're Cloudhop Bake Shop, and you can find them in Orlando, Soto. But I'll just let you talk because I'm very excited about food and I have a big sweet tooth. But how did you guys meet? How did you guys end up together? In what universe? Because actually, Shabari doesn't even live in Orlando. She's a world traveler commuter from Orlando to India because that's very close,
Close
right?
by. Yes.
That's very close by.
Only 24 hours.
24 hours.
24 hours. And with layovers, probably longer. 35, 36 hours. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And what's your plane ride like?
Well, from South India to the Middle East, and from the Middle East into the United States.
Wow, what airports do you usually do?
Dubai, Dallas, DC, New York, and then into Orlando.
And then to Orlando. Wow.
Yeah.
I
It's a long
can't.
journey.
And you're doing that every month?
Every other month. Every other month at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that how much you like cupcakes and cookies?
First off, I like travel. I mean, you can't do this if you don't like travel, right? I like the plane ride. I like the journey. I've always liked it, right? But the other half of it is I absolutely love baked goods. And this job is completely by chance. I never in my wildest dreams expected that I'd be running a cookie and cupcake company.
In cupcake shop, I know.
Never, ever.
Can you tell us about how that opportunity came to be and how you ended up here?
Well, I lived in the US for many years. I lived in Rhode Island.
wow.
I worked there for many years. One of my first jobs when I applied, I was obsessed with being with a brand, right? And I applied to Dunkin' Donuts. And I'm going to talk about it because I lived right there near the Dunkin' Donuts headquarters in Boston. And I got the job as assistant brand manager, right?
In Dunkin' Donuts.
In Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, wow.
Because I came into the United States.
America
and I said,
runs on
yes.
Dunkin'?
I came into the United States. This is many years ago. And then I said, I have to work for Dunkin' Donuts. And I got it. But I couldn't get my paperwork in order.
Oh,
Right.
no.
So I did not, I still have that little letter from them, appointment letter saying assistant brand manager. And I did not get the job because they said,
You needed like a
you need a visa and you need all of that stuff. Now, you must remember, typically, most people coming from overseas don't get brand jobs because culturally you need to know the country, you need to know the culture to get that. So I was very impressed that I got it. Right. We had a great talk, the person who hired me, and he was a brand manager back then. And then I said, okay, great, let's get started. It fell through. And I never got another brand job after that. So I parked it in the corner. And then I realized I was really good with data. It just, again, by chance. And I met these wonderful people that I worked for many years in consulting in Boston.
So you were like, no donuts, let me just do data. Because they go hand in hand.
It just happened one after the other. No, it just happened. It was by chance, completely by chance. But it was all in the realm of marketing, market research, data. It was one of those things. I'm quite analytical in my mind, in my thinking. So I lived in the US for many years, almost for about 10 years. And I went back to India with my husband. We started working there, and I continued to consult for US companies out of India.
So you kept a liaison, in the United States.
I continued to work for US, companies, firms. And towards the end of it, which was probably about 3-4 years ago, I started consulting independently for a bunch of companies in India as well. Right. And that was a big change for me because I never had any exposure to the Indian market because I always worked in the US, even though I lived there.
Interesting.
grew
I
up
love
there.
that.
Yes. So I started working for Indian companies and startups. I started entering consumer goods, and I had some exposure to a lot of tech companies.
Okay.
Adobe, Facebook, Google, IBM, a bunch of others as well. So the introduction of consumer goods kind of kicked in, and I realized that I could translate all these research skills, qualitative, quantitative data, and of course my great desire to do brand, which is what I always wanted to do.
You're like, it's still there. It was still there. That fire in you.
And there were different portions where I kind of continued to do some work with it. So it kind of all came together, and I started consulting in India. And I came across my current owner of this business, who said, will you help me out with a few projects that I'm doing in the US? Because I'm having some trouble translating those thoughts. And I got handed kind of like the idea that they wanted to open a bake shop in the United States. So my first question was, wow, this is fun. And I said, I'm consulting, right? Nothing more than that.
Yeah, you're only consulting.
Consulting. So it was a couple of hours a week. You helped me out. And I started doing all these store development, store design, talking through all of those things. And I realized you can't just walk into the United States and open a bake shop. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work
like that. So I pulled everything back. I said, listen, will you give me a chance to work this out? Because this doesn't make sense.
So basically, wait, you convinced them, you're like, send me and I'll do it?
I didn't convince him. I said, I'm going to help you.
Oh, okay.
So I put everything on paper. I told him, this is how we're going to do it.
Okay.
Number one, we're going to build a brand. And there was my light.
You're like, I said, I couldn't get the brand. Yeah, so I will build it.
But that was really the trigger.
I love that. You're
Yes.
like, you won't get me as a brand. I will build my own.
And
I absolutely love that.
Chantal, I was dead sure I could do this.
I've
not
that.
had an ounce of doubt from the day I started.
I love that confidence.
Yeah, because I was sure I could build this.
Can you give me some of that?
I was sure I could build it. I didn't know how. I didn't bother about the how. I just said, I know how to do this.
You'll do
right? So I started piecing it together. And I'll be honest, there were days when I'd be like, tell my husband, am I really signing up for something crazy here? Like, what am I doing? And his thing was, what is it that you have to lose? You have nothing to lose. He says, go for it, right? So we started.
Oh, I love that he supported you all through like that.
He was very supportive.
That's awesome.
And my team, everyone, really. I'll get to that in a second. But cutting this long story short, we kind of started writing up the brand. I hired a brand firm out of New York. I created this whole idea of what we want to do, right? So research pretty much drives everything that we're doing. We said, what is available in the market?
So even though it's bake shop and whatever, you were like, I'm going to do as much data as I can through this. Like,
I think in today's day and world, if you're not data-driven, if you're not research-oriented, it tells you a lot of stuff about the market. See, coming back to, it's not about building a company and throwing a bake shop out there, right? What is available today that you're not happy with?
Got it.
And I think that was my starting point. And as a company, how are you going to position yourself in a market that already has tons of baked goods?
Honestly, for the people that don't know you, I think that everything that you said shows.
Yeah.
Because when you go to Cloudhop, it's not your cookie cutter, hey, here's chocolate chip, here's a chocolate. It's like, hey, here's a chocolate praline with booze in it. Like, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, what kind of flavor is this? Where were you my whole life?
Bourbon evaporates, right? You're not really drinking bourbon.
I know. I'm just
bourbon
like,
evaporates.
Yeah, it's like bourbon chocolate praline. I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't know. This is what I didn't know.
For all those who have kids having this, bourbon evaporates. The alcohol doesn't stay in the product.
No, I know.
Yes.
But I'm like, it's the kind of thoughtful ingredients and flavors put together that I'm like, well, I guess you did do the research.
Yes,
because I'm like, you just don't come up with that flavor out of nowhere.
And it's not just about flavors. Flavors is the huge crux of, to attract people and to kind of say, yes, the day is meant to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
The entire mission of the brand is to circle it around joy and to kind of brighten someone's day, right? And I want to say a little bit about the brand because that's where we started. We started building a product line, which is the positioning of the company is different between cookies and cupcakes. And we said, we're going to do this for the company to be successful, right? Mm-hmm. But the core of the business is we're going to build product that is not too sweet.
That's not too sweet.
Correct. Which means we're not focused on just upping the sugar levels and making a product because anything
I know it's
sugar
like when you go to the groceries.
Addictive.
No, when you go to the grocery store, it's like they all taste almost the same because it's just like sugared up.
And we're all addicted to sugar, right? I love sugar, but my point is, we wanted to take that away and we wanted you to experience the flavor. So can you bite into a flavor, for example? And we gave every product an identity. So we took the PBJ, which is your sandwich that you put into your lunchbox when you're young, right? And we converted that into a cookie. So when you close your eyes
I
and
have
bite into
not
that,
tried that
you
one.
must try
I
that.
need to try PB&J.
Yes. So that's what we did with every product. We said every product has an identity. Why are we making a pecan bourbon chocolate? Because it's different. It's great for the holidays. And we made it into a cookie pie because people like pies during the holidays.
I'm 100% support
So we
that.
elevated everything, but elevation is from you're talking about the flavors, but behind the scenes, we're making sure the flavor is up. The quality of product is very up because we're saying high quality chocolates, ingredients. We're not shortchanging. Our cost of producing a product is very high. Let me just say that straight up. We're not saying, we'll use cheap ingredients to lower the cost. We're not doing that.
No.
So we'll figure out other ways to resolve our issues internally, but our product quality is high.
Yes. You don't have to sell me on it.
Yes.
I 100%.
And we have open kitchens. You can see us. So we're not hiding anything.
I love that.
I want you all to come in, take a look. And, Scott and I, we're proud of that. Walk into our kitchen, see us.
I know. And my burning question again, how from India and you ended up with Mr. Winter Park? I need to know how Scott came into the picture. How are you guys teaming up? I don't know
Scott's version or my version.
I want Scott's version. Scott's kind of quiet there. So
yes, let's go to Scott's version.
Well, it was really by accident. And I had been with Barney's, I think, almost 10 years and was ready for something new. And I just wasn't sure what it was. And a mutual colleague called me and said, there may be something of interest to you. There's a concept that a company's opening here in the United States. And would you be open to talking about it? And my first, I guess, inclination was, well, what is it? And what would I really be doing? So I said, sure. And so we arranged, I don't even know if it was an interview. It was really more of a discussion. Yeah. And I remember meeting Shabari for the first time and at the hotel she was staying at. And I was very apprehensive. I mean, just to be open.
You were
Well, I just was, I knew that I wanted to do something that really was exciting. And so we sat down and we had a conversation and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And I was probably asking her more questions than she was asking me, if I kind of recall.
Yes.
Just tell me a little bit more about this and how's it going to be different? And, there's a lot of Me Too's out there. And so
I agree.
Yeah.
And so I was really, really, intrigued. And I remember leaving and going home and talking to my wife, I had a really interesting meeting today. And I'm going to meet with this woman again. I liked what she said. I really kind of just saw her vision, and just what you just heard is what I heard. And I was
and what about it was it that captured that you were like, I need to be part of this?
That I love the whole dream bigger concept in itself was because I believe in that, carpe diem, seize things. I love that. And then
for everyone, dream bigger is the slogan for Cloudhop, but what about the dream bigger caught your eye? What spoke to you about it? Because if you see every cookie and cupcake box that you open, it's very cute and just says dream bigger, and it's this light sky blue, and it just seems like you are reaching for the sky kind of thing.
And that trickles down to the products, and that's what really I think was a hook. I said, well, it's a cookie. No, it's not a cookie. We just don't want to be that. We want to be we want to offer that true experience. And that was probably what got me to say yes. It was all about a total experience coming in, and whether it's the color palettes that we use or, the aroma that you smell when when you enter the shop, or of course the taste, the music. It was appealing to all five senses, and that was really, really okay, I'm ready. How can I support you? And I was really upfront with Shabari too. I'm like, I don't just want to be an employee. I mean, I want to be a partner. I want to be your right-hand person to really implement your vision. And here we are.
That's awesome. And one of the things that I kept thinking of is Barney's is mostly known for the White Christmas. Mm-hmm. They have such a signature flavor that everybody knows. You can recognize it anywhere. So for me, right away, my brain always goes 100 miles an hour. And I'm just thinking, wow, you go from that in that scent that's very recognizable again to be like, okay, now I want to build my own. And what's that flavor going to be? Like, do you have a flavor or, that you say that's going to be our signature? That's going to be Cloudhop.
He
Yeah.
does.
He does? He does?
Yeah. And Chantal, I will tell you that there's nothing that is, so enjoyable when you see people like, bite into like in one of our products and their facial expression, their body language. It's like this, it's a good thing. It makes you really happy to see them happy. And so there's really an emotional piece of it too, that I know that sounds maybe sappy, but it isn't.
You can be cheesy if you want.
It's cool. Like when you see, and that's what we do. We delight people. People come in, and that's the goal.
So you avoided my question. So what was that dream flavor for you? I won't let you off the hook.
Well, I think without a doubt, our Tres Leches is probably the most popular cupcake. And for those of you who haven't tried it, it's a must for
Tres
sure.
Leches
The Tres
cupcake?
Leches.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I didn't try that one. I feel left out.
My favorite.
It's your favorite
yes,
too?
yeah,
I have to try it.
and just
Wow.
it's definitely it's super. It's super
super.
good. And then
Well, remember, I'm Dominican. I grew up in
Yes.
Latin America. So
But
Tres Leches is very near and dear to my
and
heart.
that's why we had to
we
get
got
it right.
A lot of Puerto Ricans taste it.
Oh, really? Oh, I
I can tell you. Yes, we're Puerto
love
Ricans taste it.
this.
So I'm confident that you like our Tres Leches.
Okay,
There's
so
a little
I
twist to
am
it.
loving
Uh-huh.
how your data translate into like a successful product. You're like, well, I'm Indian, I'm not Puerto Rican, but you will taste it, and you did,
Yes,
and you had all
and
the.
we want your feedback. So
That's
we're not
awesome.
we're not saying, oh, we have the best, we're not going to touch it anymore, right? You give us feedback, we'll take it.
So it's approved in the Caribbean. I love that.
Yes. We have a very global team.
I know.
That helps.
I love how thorough you are with everything. And like I can't believe just in 8 months, can you walk us through like when from Cloudhop open to where is it today? Because I feel like it's a product that's been only here for 8 months, and I feel like so much has happened.
Hardly 6 months.
6 months.
Not even. We're just about getting to 6 months.
Oh, I added 2 extra ones.
2 extra months. So we've been in R&D and gestation for about a year and a half before that because we were testing product.
Wow.
But
so
none
so
of the
you-
team members were here. It was just me and maybe 2-3 other people. We were testing things out.
for a year and a half.
More than a year. Yeah, a year and a half when
Wow.
we started.
And
Because we
then-
weren't sure. Because we're a foreign entity. So we had to be sure that we're doing everything correctly, right?
And were you testing, developing the recipes?
Yes. Yes. All the recipes, testing the product, checking out locations, leasing, understanding the feasibility of the entire business.
And then one thing that you told me before that I just need to confirm it again. How many recipes do you have?
We have over 200 plus
200 plus.
already.
Already. 6 months and over 200
Plus.
Like,
We've
plus-
not released all of it, but my point is we're testing. See, the best feedback is when customers tell us, I want to try your Tres Leches. So we want to hear what you say. So we will perfect it. Our Tres Leches has been perfected 3 times over from the time we started.
And already in 6 months. Wow.
Yes. And that is the promise we're making for Dream Bigger. So we're not just saying this lightly, saying Dream Bigger. When he says product, that's what we mean by product. We're open to and keeping that consistent across our stores, which are all challenges for any new business.
And then, so the first one opened
In June,
of 2024.
correct. We opened our second in September.
Wow. So that was like,
literally
we're
3
ready.
months, 3 months
we're
later.
ready.
Yes. And we're opening our third store in Waterford Lakes next week.
Wow. So it's like every 3 months, let's go.
Let's go. For now. So we're going to stabilize.
And have
this
you
three-
done the fundraising ahead of time? Do you have a plan of how many, or it was just opportunities and you were ready for that?
No, we're going to watch how this goes. The first couple we wanted to test because we're testing out different locations, recipes, people, customers, feedback. So we're doing all of that. So we needed a little bit of a footprint to do that. So which is why we went ahead and opened 3 stores. So beyond this, we'll have to pull things back, look at data.
Look at data. You're like, I'm going to take another pause, look at data.
Another data.
And then
we
come with a bang.
Yes, and then we'll come back saying, okay, well, these are things we need to correct and these are things that are working. So that's
I
where we
love
are.
that because like you behind the scenes, you move slowly, you take your time, but then as soon as you open, it's like instant success. But this is what people see. They see instant success, like these are amazing. But I don't think anybody knew that you had been year and a half testing,
Yes.
studying,
And coming in and out, flying in and out of Orlando.
flying in and out. How many
Yes.
times did you fly in and out to Orlando?
Well, in a year, at least 5 or 6 times. in and
Wow.
out. Yeah.
You did that 35-hour journey.
Yes.
Wow.
You must love plain food. Otherwise, you can't do this.
Oh my God. What was your favorite airplane meal?
Oh. Well, there are plenty of good. I mean, I do beef for the most part. Sirloin,
But what was your
Decadence.
favorite airplane meal? What airplane were you on? Like
Emirates. I love Emirates.
Emirates.
Brand
That's
association.
not,
right
too,
here.
that's not too savvy.
Brand
Scott's eyes were like,
association.
she's kind of bougie, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a huge
Yeah.
Emirates fan.
Yeah, okay. So Emirates and do you remember it was a beef dish or something?
Yeah, I mean the food is good, but yeah, for
Okay.
plain food. I mean, don't
For plain
judge it
food.
by.
I
Yeah,
know,
you
no,
can't
no,
judge
for-
it by Michelin star standards.
For
plain
plain
food
food.
is good. It's good. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I have yet to fly Emirates.
Okay.
My budget's not there yet, but
Yeah.
but I will let you know
But
as
we
soon
have.
as that
When you're
happens.
flying long distances, these are the choices you have. So yeah.
Got it. No, that's awesome. Awesome. So why did you guys choose Soto? Like, was that a Scott thing? Did you mean Scott afterwards?
No, Scott
Like,
came in much later.
Later.
We had to open our doors. Leasing is, you need to kind of, so we were testing out of a test kitchen, right? Our whole R&D was going on in a test kitchen. The amount of rent we were paying there was as much as what we are paying today at Soto.
wow.
Yeah, test kitchens are expensive.
That's
whether
something
people realize it or
I
not.
would have never known.
Yes, but it's great for people.
I'm glad you're talking about it because
Yes.
why would a test kitchen be so expensive?
Because
You're
they give
trying to
you-
push a new product.
No, because a lot of test kitchens are used by people who are mom and pop shop owners, where they run their entire restaurant operation, do online DoorDash and Uber Eats sales.
And you would think it would be more affordable. Wow.
No, the rent is high.
I'm
and
shocked.
that's something I learned. I didn't know that.
I'm
I learned
shocked.
that as well. So we decided we need to open a brick and mortar location to kind of test it out. Yes, it would be great if you get a slam dunk 10 on 10 location, but it's not as easy. It's not like you walk in and the location is people are going to say, "Here, take it." It doesn't work like that.
I know.
Yes.
Especially,
Yeah. It's a grind.
Yeah,
You have
real
to
estate
knock
in
on
the
doors.
US,
Yeah.
they're gonna want, either like a letter of credit or a
There's
hefty
plenty of
deposit,
work, yes.
a
And it's
plan
not
of 3
available.
years.
It's
Yeah.
not available. What you want is not available.
It's not available.
So we had to open doors. So Sodo came through. So we took it. And as we build, we'll figure it out.
And then did you work with the city, with the main street? Who did you leverage? Because I know Orlando, has a lot of resources. Some of these people don't know. Do you know about it? Or like how did
No, we went through the proper channels to apply for all our permits. We did all of that. We
Mhm.
hired a construction company, all the basics. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Got it. No, I just think it's like funny how you all the way from India ended up in Soto. I just love that.
Yes.
I just love that because it's like, only people in Orlando know about that area,
Yeah. The lease is, because we're talking to a lot of people. So the
No,
options come to us.
I know, and where I want to get to is that I'm really impressed and proud because most people that come from overseas and think Orlando would have put something in Windermere and Dr. Phillips in International
Phillips, yes.
Drive, would have put it closer to the parks.
Parks.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's why I'm asking you more questions because everybody that's from the outside that thinks of Orlando would have put something closer to the theme parks or the entertainment district, wouldn't put it so close to really, where the actual people that,
So it is a
live and
true-
play in Orlando,
Yeah.
are close to the center.
Yeah, it is a true challenge. We're trying to build a brand for the American
For the
neighborhoods.
locals.
Yes,
For
for,
the
the local people,
locals.
which is very important, right? It's not a short-term plan. It's a long-term plan. For the long-term plan, you have to convince people that we have good product, not just tourists who are walking by and grabbing a cookie.
Yeah. And then they will go on a plane and,
And
never
we're done.
remember you.
Yes.
Yeah. You wanted that repeat customer.
Yes, and that's harder work, harder to get everything up and running, as we already know. But we have to do that for the long-term success.
No, I absolutely
And probably
love that.
Scott is more well-versed with Barney's and building a business and locally, and which is why his experience is so helpful.
Yeah, I think this to somewhat echo Shabari. We wanted to get something open where we could interface with customers, and certainly, as much as you want to think with all the research, and believe me, I mean, the amount of work that's gone on behind the scenes is unbelievable. But you still have to test it. I mean, the true test is when you have customers tasting your products, and so we had to get open. And then, of course, with any new concept, you had to make, modifications and things like that. And we've done a lot of it. And so,
like what? Could you walk me through a couple examples of those pivots that you've had to do?
Well, having a number of cookies and cupcakes is one thing, but we introduced minis, by the way. So we recognized that not everybody wants to order six cupcakes or a large 4-ounce cookie. So we have mini cookies now, mini cupcakes now, which we were just up at our South Daytona location yesterday, and a family came in and they ordered a box of mini cupcakes. And I asked the woman, I said, "How are they?" She says, "Great." I said, "Do you like the minis?" And she said, "Yeah, it's nice that you get to try a variety."
Oh, true. You don't have to commit to one flavor. You can try many more.
Yeah. Now, I don't know whether or not minis was ever really like in the plan, but we recognize that not everybody, wants this one cupcake or cookie. Beverages, we are getting ready to launch milkshakes.
Oh, wow.
But getting back to that original question that you asked me, that I asked Shabari, I said, what's going to make it like over the top? Because you can go to a number of places and get a milkshake.
Correct.
So getting back to, the flavor, we came up with some extraordinary milkshakes that the flavors in them are just...
Can we get a sneak peek? Can you tell us one or two flavors?
Well, I'll tell you, our signature is called Dream Bigger.
Oh, of course.
And
the slogan, the whole thing.
Yeah, and I can't reveal the ingredients, but
just like a couple, just give us something.
Well, we have our
call me later.
we actually formulated what we call Dream Milk, which has got some of the Tres Leches flavoring in it.
Oh my gosh!
Which is again my favorite.
I know this is going full circle, and I'm like, oh, I can't.
Chantal, I will share this with you. Last week, we were again practicing and making some, and I think it was five high school girls came into this shop, and I went up and said hello to them, and I said, well, would you mind trying something? And
did they look at you weird?
And they're like, yeah, they did. They did like, okay. And I said, no. So I went and I brought up the milkshake, and I said, just really give me your honest feedback. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you say you don't like it. And the look on these girls' faces when they taste it was like, this is like awesome. This is incredible. And I was like, check.
You're like, let's go.
We got it.
I'm like, can I get that mental image saved forever of their amazing faces?
And so I did.
It's very good.
And this is where, again, the vision or magic that Shabari brings to the table, and why I think it's a great partnership, is because she'll kind of even challenge me. So I'm like, Shabari, we've got the milkshakes done, and send her pictures. I send her, this is a recipe, and she'll come back like, okay, but we really need, we want to kind of elevate it a little bit more. I'm like, oh, all right. But that extra kind of push is what, again, sets us apart from
like regular to amazing.
Yeah. Right. And one other flavor I'll share with you, or one of our more popular cookies is called the OG. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned this to you when we talked. It's a chocolate chip cookie, but it's just not a chocolate chip cookie. It's a chocolate chip cookie, and we elevate it because we put sea salt on top. So
nice.
my wife likes to bake and she'll make chocolate chip cookies, but who puts sea salt on top, and that sweetness with that, the salt, like just gives it that
extra touch.
And so we created a milkshake called the OMG. And
wait, who's coming up with these names?
The team is fantastic.
I
Pretty
need
much
to
everyone.
know.
Pretty much, innovation can come from anyone.
Yeah, and
they're all doing their best.
Yeah, and I'll take credit on that one because I didn't want to call it the OG. I said the O and then little O and then little OMG. But it is you're drinking this incredible.
The OG milkshake, OMG.
OMG.
I'm still.
Yeah,
that's worth money.
And so it's
yes.
No, and they taste as good as they look. I mean, and that, visually, it'll be, again, just you'll look at it and you'll want to take a picture and say, and then we wanted it to taste even better than it looks. And so I think it's that's a fun fun element of things that just. Yeah. Pushes us.
No, one of the things that I do like and I want to stress out is that I don't usually go for like fruity flavors on my cupcakes. Not at all. Just full disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
But with the ones that you guys have, when you do like, a blueberry or you incorporate lemon, like it tastes real. And like I actually like the fruity flavors. Because I feel like a lot of places you just get like fruit extract or fruit flavoring, and in yours I can taste the real thing, and it tastes really nice. And the cupcakes are like fluffy and
our
airy.
frosting has flavor. So some of the research told us a lot of people use sugar, butter, cream, and that's pretty much it, right? You're whipping stuff up. We are adding flavor into even our frosting.
Into the frosting
as well. Yes. So we say we are
so like
America's
every
best
detail
frosting.
you thought of.
Yes. Product especially. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is why we have this great team as well.
Yeah, that I think is also really worth mentioning is, it's easy to say that we're good or we're the best, and everybody's going to tell. I learned this when in former jobs. Oh yeah, our product is great.
Yeah.
Is
Well, is it?
it really?
No, is it? Is it? I mean, and so we challenge ourselves to. It's. If we're going to say that, we have incredible cupcakes, cookies, and baked goods, they need to be incredible. So you can't cut corners. And whether we're using, all natural ingredients, premium ingredients, and it does. It's obvious, in the taste, texture. I mean, when I bring cupcakes home, for my teenage son to try, and I come in the morning and I just see that he's eating the entire top of the cupcake with the frosting only and says it was incredible. I'm like, what about the cupcake? Oh, that the frosting was just too good, Dad.
We almost want to bottle our frosting because people like the frosting.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the feedback you've gotten from people?
Yeah, people love the frosting. And also, like chocolate, we use Belgian chocolate. So we're using very high-grade chocolate. Even the dark, the Belgian. And we're using Valrhona, not just any. We even tell you what chocolate we're using. We're using Valrhona, Calabo. So these are very high-grade chocolate that most people will not use because it's very expensive.
Wow, I love this. And then, like, you are very healthy. If you're only listening, audio only, Shabari is like very fit, very slim, very elegant. How do you balance, like, having a sweet store with, healthy living, and who are you kind of behind the scenes when you're not creating?
Very, very
sweets?
good question, because I care about health and I care about what we consume.
I can tell.
Yes, I care
and your skin
about
looks glowing, your hair looks healthy. So like I know
young
you care.
kids
You
too, right? And all of our team, we all have young kids, and I care deeply about what they eat. Right?
We all have young kids. No, you have young
we
kids.
We have young kids.
Oh,
I mean,
you and Scott.
Yeah,
Okay.
Scott has young sons.
I was like, don't include me.
I said Scott has young sons. I have a young daughter. It's very important what they eat. Now, if they're going to eat, have a treat, right? No one is saying take a box of cookies and eat 6 cookies at the same time. That's not who we are. That's not what we stand for. But when you're going to have a treat, when you're going to have a birthday, when you're going to give a gift, give the best quality stuff. It's fresh, it's high quality ingredients, and it's baked then and there. So we're promising you that. We're promising you high quality product. And there's a lot of consideration going into building that product. There are no preservatives, right? So that's what we're selling. So it's very important. So when you ask me, if you have a cookie and if you're eating good quality stuff, I mean, there's really no harm in doing so.
So it's like I can have my guilty pleasure and it's not that guilty.
It's not that guilty. If you're doing guilty, do it correctly.
Correct.
Right.
If I'm
Do
not
it
doing
correctly.
guilty, do it correctly.
Do your treat correctly.
With like the real flavor.
Yes, kids are going to eat it anyway. I mean, we're going to eat it. So my point is, do it correctly, eat the right quality stuff, so you're not putting terrible things into your body, really.
No, that's awesome. No, and I had to ask because I guess I can tell that you did care. So, you know,
I think the whole team as a whole, they all care about what product is going in and what's going into the product. We also grow our own macadamia, by the way.
you grow your own macadamia.
Yes, we ship it from overseas. So these are some of the
wait,
things.
no, tell me more. Wait. Tell me more about this. Because listen, I've talked to a lot of business owners. I eat everything under the sun, and you're the first person that I'm like casually. I grow my own macadamia.
Well, the thing is, we got lucky with this. See, this is how we built the company. I've taken everything that's available to me when I started, and I said we got to incorporate this because those are the fresh things that I was getting. Right? We have a macadamia farm in Africa. The owners,
Where?
the investors in Malawi.
Wow.
So one of the signature lines we're dropping in January is our macadamia cookie, which is out of this world. It is the best macadamia cookie you will ever have.
And it's not like you went to like Publix in Florida to
No.
get your macadamia.
And I'm going to show
You
you.
shifted all the way from Malawi to here.
Correct, because it's grown by us. We know exactly what's going into it and how it's being produced.
I just had to, I'm mind blown.
We're also going to bag our macadamia because they are that good. And the
Yeah.
size of the macadamia, you can take it to Publix and compare what you're buying in Publix.
You should have brought me one. I need to do like the test.
I'm always stealing in the kitchen. I walk into the kitchen
No,
and like,
we-
do you have the bag open? So we're going to bag it and sell it, which is what I was telling Scott. We
Yeah.
should bag it.
I need to do like Instagram, like something in my social media comparing. This is the Publix macadamia.
Think about it, right? Our ingredients: Belgian chocolate. We dip it in macadamia. We have ruby chocolate. We use ruby Calibo, which most people don't use because it's very expensive.
And where did you get the ruby from?
Ruby, some of the ruby chocolate is coming in from Europe. We have distributors here, but we are bringing it in
From Europe directly.
the chocolate.
So you're sourcing everyone, like so many of these ingredients
We're
worldwide.
sourcing the special ingredients. We're sourcing, yes.
So worldwide.
The simple ingredients we're getting
'Cause-
it locally. We
'cause-
don't get citrus and key lime and all of that is from here because we're end of the day Floridian now.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. No, but I just had to like reiterate and say that again because it's like, it's not like you're casually going to like Restaurant Depot, like,
No.
95% of the people. You're like, no, this one product is good in Africa. I'm going to
We're
bring
gonna
it.
bring-
This
whatever we
other
can
product
source.
is
Yeah.
good in Europe. I'm going to
We're
bring
gonna
it.
bring it.
This other product actually is really good in Florida, so we can go and
So
bring
Chantal, we're dreaming bigger. We're not,
Yeah, you're
we're
dreaming
not
way
kidding.
bigger than what I
We're
thought.
not
I'm like,
kidding about this.
whoa.
We're dreaming bigger.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No. I don't know why you are so low key and you like casually drop like this is the thing that I'm like, people need to know because honestly, the more you tell me, the more I'm like, hold on, I'm amazed. There is more?
We have plenty more. So we keep dropping things like that. But this is the beauty of building something like this.
Mhm.
And because we're a global team, which is the most interesting piece of this entire thing.
That's
So, yeah.
awesome. And you still have kind of some teammates overseas?
We have a full team back home in India as well, helping us with the back end, the data, the analytics, the
Because
technology.
the data never stops.
The data never stops.
And Scott just nods his head like.
Yep.
Because the more information I can give all of them, is the better we can build our company and our product.
And Scott, have you ever worked with somebody or a place that, data was so important?
No.
No.
Nope. No, but it's somewhat, not relieved, but satisfying that you just know that it's proven. And so in a lot of businesses, a lot of products, we see it, I've experienced it. You kind of go in and, well, it might work, it may not work. Even, at Barney's, we launched flavors that just didn't really take off or resonate with customers. And as I've represented other products in my career, so having this data is almost almost another, again, check mark. Like, no, this isn't just a random thought. This is something that there's been research done on it that Yeah, it may not be a huge hit, but we're going into it much more positive. I feel like we're approaching it much more positively with that data behind it. And so, so I feel, and it's been a little bit of a learning curve for me as well.
For you? Yeah, I mean, I ask you because I've worked a lot in the, corporate world in the US market, and I just hadn't seen, especially with just like a retail store, so much thought put into it and so much data. Like I'm literally mind blown.
And Chantal, I tell you, when I joke now, my wife knows that I'm on the phone either very early in the morning or very late at night because of the 9-hour time change. And, every Monday morning, we have a call and with the Indian team, and that's what we're looking at. We're looking at graphs and things like that. And I listen and I'm like, holy smokes.
Like,
And
wow.
it's been a little bit of but it's been a great experience for me as well. I'm learning a lot, and how data, at the end of the day, like Shabari says, we're really a tech-driven bake company.
And I love that. I've never met a tech-driven bake company.
And I've never worked for one.
I'm like, this is amazing.
And I never thought I'm going to build one. I'll be honest. I never thought so. We never thought we'll apply to cookies and cupcakes, but yes.
And then are your plans to eventually move here or because I know your family is back in India or?
I've always been open to my husband and I because family's involved in this. We're very open to where work takes us. I don't think that's an issue. I don't think the focus right now is are we going to move, not move. The goal for Scott and myself primarily is to drive the company, make sure we're hitting all these things that we're saying, right? Are we getting the word out? Do more people, because a lot of people don't know about us.
I know, and honestly, it's because it's like I said, Soto is great,
Correct.
but it's in a lot of constructions,
Yes.
congested, that area.
So now that we have Waterford and Tanger, now we're hoping from this season on, we're able to tell people that we exist
Yeah.
to come and check us out. And as we progress, yes, you could land up anywhere.
And how did you land on like Daytona area? Because it's like
Daytona was a strategic pick. We wanted to be in the outlet mall in Tanger.
okay, in
Right?
the outlet.
Correct. And we wanted to kind of expand. And like I said, Sodo is a neighborhood. It may be hard to penetrate in those areas, but it is important to kind of get a feel in the first year
Mm-hmm.
what works and what doesn't work. Our product is good. We know that. You can read our Google reviews. You must. It'll tell you clearly what people are saying because we don't egg that on in any way, right? People say what they have to say.
Mm-hmm.
So if you read it, you'll have a very clear idea what people are saying about our product. But we have to test it out in different markets. I mean, it is part of business.
Yeah, and then Waterfall Lakes, it's
Yeah.
like
It's very clearly 3 different types of places.
types of neighborhoods
Yeah.
and areas.
And I think, and we this is a long time away, but I joke with Shabari about, if this could ever be like a global brand, and because the intention is to expand in other markets. I think we talked about South Florida, which has got quite a eclectic group of people, and if the concept can perform there, I mean, in Miami and places like that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of competition there.
Yep.
But I mean, honestly, the flavors you guys put together are incredible.
Mhm.
Can you because I mean, I talked about the bourbon chocolate, but praline, but can you name like a couple of like flavors that you guys really like that are very unique and that you don't find just anywhere?
Well, I should tell you about the holiday flavors that are coming out. Today's Friday, tomorrow, Saturday. We are dropping the cinnamon bun cookie,
A cinnamon bun cookie
which is what I'm saying. We're taking the emotion and we're converting that into the cookie.
into a cookie. Nice.
We're doing a hot milk cocoa.
A hot milk cocoa.
I
Wow.
mean, look at the weather right now, right? We have to have a hot milk cocoa.
Wow. In a
Yes,
cookie.
In a cookie. This is all cookies. We're talking cookies.
Wow. I never had one. And absolute I sign me up for that
Yeah,
one.
we have a red velvet for, of course, the holiday season with the extra stuffed cheese, right? Cream cheese. So we have that. That has to be. We have an eggnog cupcake.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah,
because
I haven't
just
tried
landed.
it yet either.
I'm dying to try that
Yeah.
because I'm like, when you say eggnog, I'm like, but I want to try it.
Oh no, I grew up on eggnog, except we call it ponche de Navidad.
Yeah.
It was not called eggnog. Our every kind of Latin American country has a version of eggnog, and everyone has a different name.
But I hear it's one of our best because the team was raving about it.
What's the coconut cream? What's that one?
Coconut cream is the other. We have the lemon meringue pie, which is a cookie. We have a coconut cream cupcake.
Wow.
Which is also another favorite right after Tres Leches. You can see where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I can
I'm
see
probably Puerto Rican or Dominican.
I know you're gonna end up
Tres
Dominican, Puerto Rican.
Leches,
It's like
coconut cream.
Actually, she's not Indian anymore. She's Dominican and Puerto Rican.
Yes.
We're gonna claim her. She's
Coconut
gonna do
cream
all of our
is
flavors.
is excellent as well.
The pumpkin pie was, I think,
Fantastic.
Was a big hit.
For the
Oh, I really
Thanksgiving.
liked it. I tried
Yeah,
that
the pumpkin
one for
pie
sure.
was a good one.
I really liked it. I have a video of me just going
And
for
we
it.
have the apple crumb. All of that is going to drop now, and then we're going to put in the new flavors.
Oh, that's
Yeah, these are this new stuff coming.
I knew
up.
the pumpkin pie was going to be a good one. We participated in an event, I think a Feast on the 50 over in Camping World Stadium, and we brought in cookies to hand out to. I think there was 3,000 or 5,000 people there. It was a big event, and we were out of cookies in an hour and like 15 minutes.
wow.
I mean, it was like ridiculous how many people were in line, but the pumpkin went like that. And I remember like, okay, I guess it's people like it. I mean, out of all the cookies that we brought, the pumpkin was like the first to go.
That was good. Very good.
So it's like I said, when you see, you know, that's like the proof is in the pudding, pardon the pun, that these flavors people like. They recognize it, and they also it's not too sweet. And because like Shabari mentioned, you know, the inclination is to when you bite into like some kind of dessert is it's loaded with sugar, and it's got to be tons of calories and things like that. And when we tell people that no, we don't use a lot of sugar in our product.
That's awesome. And I want to circle back to what you said about the reviews. Do you guys read all the reviews? I always ask every like owner.
She does. She's like she's a fanatic.
You read every
I personally
review?
respond to every single thing. And I've made that my mission to do that because I want to know.
And what has been the worst review you've gotten?
So I'll be honest, we don't have very many bad reviews. Out of like the first store, we have about 100+ reviews.
Already?
Google, yes.
Wow.
I think we only have 2 bad reviews, and I also know why. The lady who came in, she came from the office next door, and I happened to be in town when that happened. She wanted it warm, like out of the oven warm. I mean, there's up to a certain point we can do warm, but we can't just take it from an oven and hand it to you. You know, it's a business. It's not. So sometimes you'll always have requests that are.
So she said that she wanted out of the oven warm?
Out of the oven warm.
And that's why she
got a little frustrated, and she wrote a review, which is fine. And we're trying to cater to all kinds of customers.
But was it like a mean review or just said, I want it?
She was unhappy with the idea that it wasn't warm. And we tried to keep our cookies.
Request.
Yes, but and there's another really fun 4-on-5 that we got. Those are the only ones we have because the rest is everything 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If I may say so.
She's like, not to brag,
this is 5-on-5.
Yeah.
As long as it
check
lasts.
my Google review.
As long as it lasts, yes. The other 4-on-5 was she actually said the product is, she said it's weird. I'm going to say it's 4-on-5 because it's not as sweet as the other products that I've tasted elsewhere. So she said, I'm going to give you a 4-on-5, but maybe it's a good thing. So her review was like, really weird. Maybe she was confused. And I said, I showed the team. I said, this is the kind of reviews you want, where they're confused whether should there be more sugar in this, but it still tastes good. She was completely confused.
That's awesome. So she's like, it doesn't taste as sweet as
what she's used to. Like
what she's used to.
But Chantal, we have, we bake fresh daily. Mm-hmm. So we have a customer in South Daytona who calls up and orders 6 or 12 cookies and asks, I'd like them right out of the oven. And so the team up there, she's a regular. The team up there knows they get the call and okay, great. And they tell her, okay, they'll be ready by, 10:30.
And she waits.
And she'll come in and she'll wait, and they come out of the oven, and we put them in a box, and off she goes.
We have a lot of loyal customers already, which is why I love it.
Big time.
Wait.
Big time. So
okay,
it's...
So that's a possibility.
That's a possibility.
That is wild. But do you only do the accommodation for like loyal customers?
See, that's not the point. If you can accommodate it, we will.
You can.
We
yeah.
can. We will.
But that's great, and you already know her, and that's awesome. That only in 6, well, actually in 3
I mean,
months.
if you're willing to time
No,
it.
in 3 months, because that store's only been open 3 months. You
Not
already
even-
have
yeah,
such
literally.
such loyalty.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
I mean, if you're willing to
amazing.
come at 11 when it's coming out, my point is, why not? Take it.
Exactly.
Why
That's
not?
awesome. That's awesome. And what have been like the most challenging things that you've encountered? You say that maybe you didn't think of, or maybe were a little bit tougher than what you thought. Because we've talked about all the success and how great it is,
Yeah.
but I just don't want to paint a picture that, hey guys, everything's perfect.
No, there's always challenges to a business.
And just want to see like what were surprisingly things that you found the most challenging in this journey so far.
I'm going to straight away say soda has been a pain point because of the construction that's going on there.
Construction, so location.
Yeah, so kind of getting traffic into that location is hard. So by default, we face a problem with that.
Yeah,
and I think every business on
and
that
the
road.
parking also is not like
Correct.
ideal.
But I feel if the construction wasn't there, it is a little bit easier to maneuver
To
that.
maneuver.
It should have been easier for people to come in.
I think it's not a challenge. I think it's very top of mind is consistency and ensuring that the product is consistently good in multiple locations, and our new location, which will be our flagship, which will be extremely busy, and we're really mindful about that and taking measures to ensure consistency. And like Shabari mentioned, we're an open kitchen, so we have nothing to hide. So
I like
nothing. So what you see is what you get, and so this cleanliness, everything. We're on display, and so you walk into our stores, we need to be buttoned up, and so those are some of the little things. I think the other thing that Shabari, when she comes to town, and we spend a lot of time together, as you might imagine, and I don't think the term critical is appropriate. I think she is very detail oriented.
No, but she's tough, and I like it. You have to be with this.
And we a visit like yesterday, she's pointing out probably half a dozen things. Just okay, why don't we change this? And what do you think, Scott? And I'm like, okay, yeah. And it's being able to recognize those things and then pivot quickly. I think also is a huge attribute to the success we've had so far. Yeah. Recognizing something and addressing it immediately. So whether it's our cookies right now, the way they're displayed up in our South Daytona location, after sitting out and not the open, but on the counter, they don't look as good as they would like coming out of the oven. So we're addressing it right away. We've addressed it. We've addressed it at our soda location.
Oh, I noticed that you guys changed the display.
We're getting a new display. And in fact, even that we want to happy. So we're going to get a display that works. Yeah.
Right. So, because we want people to come in and, again, getting back to that experience, that experience, visually see something that looks, that looks incredible. I got to try that. And you see that with customers. They come in and their eyes, you could just see by that, again, getting back to the expression on their faces, like they're excited. They're like, oh my God, these all look so good. And then we walk them through what they are. And we provide a good description. Yeah. And a lot of times people are like, they come in like to buy one and they end up,
buying a couple.
Oh, they both look so good. And, and they'll end up getting.
Challenges are plenty. I mean, there's, on a daily basis, we have a number of things. We have to take a break and say, time for lunch, time for dinner. Because, I think we should all eat and drink and live and do all that because it's a continuous, continuous
And I think too, Chantal, just from my perspective, another challenge is to, again, like Shabari said, is trying to slow down. And it's to kind of just put the brakes on a little bit because we're moving so quickly.
In 6 months, 3 locations, you are moving very quickly
and rolling out flavors,
and I think every week or so.
Yeah, but it's going to be. We tested it out for a month or so. We're going to drop. By the way, that's the official thing. We're going to drop 4 cookies and 4 new flavors for cupcakes at the beginning of every month.
Oh,
Right.
so once a month.
Once a month.
Yeah, because I'm like, these guys are going 100 miles an hour. Like
It is.
the 200 recipes are gonna run
Well,
out.
and if you go
No, there's new stuff coming all the time. So no, that's not
right,
gonna
and if you go too fast, that's where your
The quality could be
and there's room
sacrificed.
for errors, and we don't. That's not who we want to be.
we wanted to. There was a reason why we did that the last month, because it was the holiday season.
It was the holiday.
It's
okay.
mainly for that. It wasn't specific to the entire. We tested a process out to see how the teams will function. So we did that intentionally almost. And we also tested out the flavors to see what holds, what doesn't. And I learned a lot of things from that, watching the team move with that stuff. And there's multiple, it's not just coming up with the flavor. There's operations, there's marketing supporting it, there's technology behind it. Everything has to move.
Yeah, no, I follow you guys on Instagram, and I was like, another flavor, and then I think another friend of mine went, another. I'm like, oh my gosh, how are they keeping up? Like, is that something that excites you?
But
Like,
it's, yeah, of course. But my point is, I think if there's no excitement to a brand, I mean, what is the fun in it, right?
I
If
know.
January comes, if we're still selling pumpkin flavors
yeah,
and eggnog, you're going to be like, no.
not exactly.
We're going to be on that health trips, right? So we want fresh flavors. We're going to bring the macadamia in January.
I can't. I
Yeah.
can't
So
wait.
and we're going to keep it for a month, so that way everyone has a chance to try it, and we keep rotating it.
I do think that the element of excitement
Yes.
is clear in how we operate as a company, and keeping people engaged, and that's the goal. Is we want people to embrace the brand and say, this is like a really cool brand.
And
They've
you
got
s-
really good product, the way they work, the way everything about it.
about it. Yeah. Do you see yourselves like being like a crumble cookie kind of thing, or still more like local?
So
Or-
no, I don't think we're looking competition saying we want to be this or
No.
we want to be that. And that's one of the first things I told everyone when we hired everyone. I don't think the company is based on we want to be this. The parent company has some exposure to baked goods, and that's how this came about. The idea is really about giving everyone a chance to do
Gotcha.
something different and something better. Where it goes, it's up to us how we
It's
build
up
it.
to you. You're
It's up
crafting
to
it
us.
as it goes.
We're open to all of it. We're open to success. Why not? So
Yeah,
yes, we're
like I
not-
said, a lot of
yeah.
Me Too's out there. We don't want to be that.
We
And
don't
you
want to
wanna
be that.
No, I'm obsessed. I love it. You don't have to sell me on it. One last thing before we close. Is there something else like where you're headed, or something that people need to be excited so that we can close, with a bang and just get people excited? Because honestly, after this, I'm just ready to have some really warm coffee and a little cupcake.
Get a cupcake.
Maybe dip a cookie in it.
Yes.
That's what I'm
Eggnog
really-
is stuck in my head.
Yeah.
I'm like, we should go try that eggnog today. Yes.
Well, I think I definitely encourage people to try to come to our Waterford Lakes. I mean, we didn't even talk about frappes that we're also going to be offering.
So now if you made it this far, you need to go try the frappes, because you already know here, or follow them on Instagram. And what kind of frappes?
Well, I put together a frappe, a bunch of.
He's a brewer.
bu-
He's a
bu-
brewmaster.
Since you don't have experience on
With
that.
Right, I put
experience.
together-
I was gonna say, he's a
I did. I put together a frappe menu, and I sent it to Shabari. And I know by now. She's like, okay, it looks really good, but what about then this, and this?
See, what about A, B, C?
Yeah. So she again she challenges again to elevate things, and so we'll have an Oreo cookie frappe that is fabulous. I made one yesterday for Shabari.
Yes, that is so good.
It's a cold brew frappe.
Oh, wow.
And
a
she's
cold brew
like-
frappe.
Yeah.
She like
Very good.
yeah, she was over the moon. Like, this is like, okay, we need to start selling this right away. I'm like, well, I just kind of whipped it up really quick. So, but we'll, we're excited about that. And a lot of people just don't know what frappes are. I mean, they don't. I mean, so we'll have, in our Waterford Lakes, we'll have espresso-based drinks. We'll have cold brew. We'll have frappes. We'll have milkshakes. So in addition to our incredible baked goods, we'll also have a good beverage menu. And something else that down the
Yes,
road
I
that's
was gonna
coming
say, yeah, go ahead.
is
Dun,
We
dun,
are
dun, dun.
also-
It's
This is a
coming
big
Yes.
one.
soon.
This is a big one. Yeah.
no, we are since we are a bakery,
There's so many things
we'll be
coming.
launching croissants.
Yes, that's it.
But
Ooh.
like croissants that you would get in France.
In France, but because you guys, you need to bring it from the OG, like
Right.
Yeah. Goat.
from the coat down. You're like,
Yes.
she'll take the Emirates and bring it.
I mean, croissants and just different.
Not the
baked
Emirates
goods.
croissant. No, we're going to do really, really awesome. So pretty much, by the way, Scott is going to be leading most of the B2B kind of experience because he comes from that area as well. That is intentional for him to kind of join Cloudhop. The breakfast line, which is what he's pretty much directing. We have baked goods, but we're going to do the whole croissants and Danish and brioche in the mornings.
Nice.
Yeah.
With the
I mean, you guys are like transforming it.
That's what I said. We're pivoting pretty fast, and we have
This dream bigger. I mean, it's like the perfect slogan. I'm like, wow,
elevated baked goods.
Right.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, no, I believe it now. I'm a believer. the
So
more
that's an
the
exciting
more you
one.
said it, I'm like, this is the perfect slogan.
And a full catering line of
full-
cakes and everything else.
Wow,
A full catering line out of Waterford.
that's wild.
Yep. Bento
Yes.
cakes. Yep. So you'll be able to order a cupcake, a small bento cake, or a large bento cake.
Oh, large
Cookies,
cake.
cupcakes, cakes. I mean,
And
our
how
catering.
soon can people order that?
Catering is going to take about another couple of weeks. We want Waterford to settle,
Okay.
but we launch the line pretty quickly after that.
So if you're listening to this, now 2025, like Cloudhop, you need to order everything. I'm just mind blown. The more I'm like, okay, that's done. Like, no, but this, and this other idea, and this other thing. I'm
Yeah.
That's how
like,
Scott feels.
why can't you?
I don't know.
just
We'll
have-
come on. We have a lot of other things that we didn't get to. We'll come
Yeah,
on
we'll
again.
get to that.
Yeah, I'm like mind blown. So, to everyone listening, thank you for tuning in. And we learned that you can have amazing cookies, bringing your own macadamia from Africa, bringing your own ingredients from Europe, doing research for 2 years. And that's how you get a great product. It's also data. It's not only I decided to bake. It's Shabari spent 2 years doing that or more, creating her own brand because she wanted her American dream. And she freaking got it. So thank you very much. Like, subscribe. A lot of love for my friends here at Hi Hello Labs, this beautiful studios. Follow Cloudhop, and we'll see you in the next episode.